Prominent democracy activist Joshua Wong applied on Monday, July 20th, to run for a seat in Hong Kong's legislature. It raises the prospect of a battle with the Chinese-run city's authorities. He was barred from running in previous polls.
Under the chilling effect generated by Beijing, someone might doubt that will Hong Kongers give up. But I believe when I choose to run for office, it's time to put the global spotlight in Hong Kong's election. We aim and wish to take majority in Hong Kong Legislative Council election to prove we are the majority and the voice of pro-democratic camp, especially the progressive wing. Our voice must not be silenced.
Wong is one of more than a dozen young, more confrontational politicians who outshone old guard Democrats in unofficial opposition primaries this month, in what many saw as a protest vote against a national security law imposed by Beijing. The vote on September 6th will see the pro-democracy opposition try to reclaim some political influence in a city assembly stacked with Beijing loyalists. Only half its seats are directly elected. Political analysts and democracy activists expect authorities will try to disqualify some candidates.
With the threat of being extradited to China, with the uncertainty to send to black jail in Beijing, with the possibility to facing life sentencing. Today is the third week of the implementation of national security law. I still hope to run for office and receive people and mandate and let the world to know that we will continue our fight until our last breath.
Beijing says the primaries were illegal and may have violated the security law, which punishes what China calls secession, subversion, terrorism, and collusion with foreign forces, with up to life in prison. Britain is to announce changes to its extradition arrangements with China in Hong Kong on Monday.
Let's be very clear, there is a balance here, and I'm not going to be sort of pushed into a position of becoming a knee-jerk xenophobe on every issue, somebody who is automatically anti-China. But we do have serious concerns. We have concerns about the treatment of the Uyghur minority, obviously, about the human rights abuses. We obviously have concerns about what's happening in Hong Kong, and you'll be hearing a bit later on from the Foreign Secretary about how we're going to change our extradition arrangements to reflect our concerns about what's happening with the security law in Hong Kong. We have to think about the human rights, the rights of the people of Hong Kong to participate in democratic processes, and people here from Hong Kong, and how those changes affect them. What we won't do, as I say, is completely abandon our policy of engagement with China. China is a giant fact of geopolitics. It's going to be a giant factor in our lives, in the lives of our children and our grandchildren. So we've got to have a calibrated response, and we're going to be tough on some things, but also going to continue to engage.
China, on Monday, July 20th, urged Britain to avoid making further steps down the wrong path after reports that it was poised to suspend an extradition treaty for Chinese-ruled Hong Kong. Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin made the remarks during a daily media briefing, adding that China would react resolutely to actions that interfere in China's international affairs.
The recent erroneous remarks and actions made by the UK regarding Hong Kong seriously violate the international laws and the basic norms governing international relations, and grossly interfere in China's internal affairs. China strongly condemns this and firmly opposes it. We urge the UK not to make further steps down the wrong path in order to avoid more damage to the bilateral relations. I would also like to add that China will make a resolute reaction to actions that interfere in China's internal affairs.